Hi, I'm Robert from Picture Healer. Today we're going to talk about the classical formula Si Wu Tang. So Si Wu Tang, or the fourth substance, is a classical formula used to tonify blood. It's attributed mostly to a woman's formula used to, help with developmental skin, sexual reproduction, blood quality in itself. Within the theory of traditional Chinese medicine, they believe that anything that tonifies yin or anything that tonifies blood is good for women. This is kind of a misunderstanding because it's not just for women. I mean, even men have blood deficiency symptoms too. A lot of things that happen, for example, is you'll see dizziness, you'll have these headaches, the nails, the complexion, it all goes pale. And while this is a classical formula, it's still just a base formula, which means that it's just a starting point. When they actually cook it, and how we're selling it on Picture Healer is we want to cook it as a soup, and it's always best to add more things to it. But to understand the formula, we should go over each of the herbs themselves. So the first herb, and also the chief of the herbs that they have, is Shu Di Huang. Now, Shu Di Huang are the prepared Romania root. What this does is it does a whole bunch of stuff in regards to nourishing the blood, tonifying the yin. It even helps to supplement the jin. It is the one major tonifier that they use within this formula, just like ginseng is in the Si Wu Tang, the Four Gentlemen video that I talked about before this. The next part of the two that help the tonification part are, you have dangui. Now this one isn't dangui specifically. Most people who see dangui, they see these nice huge big slices of root. This is actually the tail of it, and we did this because there's actually a common problem in American society of us having something called stagnation. But what does that mean? Well, when you have stagnation, it's basically staying where you are too long at one point, and basically everything kinds to slow down. It tends to congeal. Circulation becomes poor. You get all these little aches and pains. Dangui Wei is a little different from dangui because of the tendrils. It's like legs. It's little, it's thin. And not only does it help to cook a bit easier, but they state that this helps to invigorate the blood a little bit more than tonify. Now, we already have Shu Di Huang to help tonify. This tonifies as well, but that little push for the invigorate the blood helps to get the body moving again. It helps to clear out any of that stagnation we have from sitting on our rumps all day long. The next herb that complements it is Chuan Xiong, logisticum. And the logisticum, although it has a very funny taste, this one again has kind of the reverse function. It helps from dangui, I should say. Dangui would tonify and invigorate the blood a little. This would invigorate the blood more and tonify a little less. Yes, we do have a couple of herbs here that invigorate a little more, but again, we have good reason to. There are too many of us who just sit around for hours on end, either watching YouTube or looking at spreadsheets or trying to fix other people's problems. It's just not a fun thing. And the last herb, which is actually a very interesting theory, is Bai Shao. Now, Bai Shao itself, it does tonify blood, but it has this really special feature that my mentor used to call is clawing. Now, clawing means that it's kind of pushing together, or it's keeping in. Now, it's a little different than the actual part of blood being stagnated. Instead of helping to keep things slowing down, what it does is helping to keep more of the nourishment in itself. It's kind of like digestion, I should say. If you eat vitamin and you have very poor digestion, all the vitamins and any of the nutrients that you would get from it would just shoot out of your body. You would just pee it out, and that would be it. This would actually help to keep some more of those nutrients, some of that vitamins in, which is kind of the reason why, this is used for deficiency. If you're trying to build stuff back up, you want to try to have it held within the body. Some more recent research has seen that this helps to regulate hormones as well. Now, again, we talked about this being kind of a women's formula. This isn't hormones in the way of estrogen. It's more, again, of regulating certain, I don't want to say developmental hormones, but all the hormones inside the body, everything that everyone needs to be able to grow and adapt and to keep healthy. There are other types of herbs that help specifically just with estrogen. They call it a pseudoestrogen. These are things like black cohosh or shangfu. But we don't have to get into that so much. I mean, this again is just a very simple, easy formula that people can use. So one of the common questions, one of the common misconceptions I see in Chinese medicine and just in Taoist theory in general is that men are always related to yang and women is always related to yin, and it's not technically true. You have to remember that the yin-yang symbol as a whole, they come in pieces. You have the yin on one side and the yang on the other. But inside the yin there is a little bit of yang. Inside the yang there is a little bit of yin. And it focuses more on what's dominant and recessive. You will see more yin traits in women, but it doesn't mean they don't have yang traits. You'll see more yang traits in men, but it doesn't mean they don't have yin traits. It just means that their yang traits are more dominant, the same way as women's yin traits are more dominant. The idea is with yin it's more nurturing. It's more, I don't want to say held back, but it's more held in. It's more to save. It's more to hold, to want to love. And men always active, always have to go, always have to work, always have to make money, always have to do this. But that doesn't mean that men don't want to sit there and snuggle once in a while, and it doesn't mean women, don't want to get up and go and do things. Everybody has their own dominant and recessive part, and this leads back into the herbs themselves. Like they say that Si Wu Tang is just women's formula, and Si Tang, the four gentlemen, that's a man's formula. But everybody gets blood deficiency. Everybody gets qi deficiency. And the funny thing is the blood is related to yin, the qi is related to yang, but they both go together. They have to go together. They say that the qi and the blood are intertwined. They both need each other to be able to nourish the body. One without the other would be useless. And there are certain herbs that you can add to the formulas to help build this up more. Now, generally for a simple problem, like, you're looking a little pale, you had some blood loss due to menses or something like that. Yeah, Si Wu Tang is a great formula. But believe it or not, you could supplement it by taking Si Tang with it as well. Same way with men. Men, they're feeling tired, they're feeling out of breath, they're out of stamina. That means that they're qi deficient. There's nothing technically wrong with them. They can't, medical science can't find anything wrong with them. But they're listless, I believe the word is. And that's fine. Si Tang is great for that. But if it's a chronic problem, it's always better to add some of the tonify blood herbs to it as well. And strangely enough, there is yet another classical formula within Chinese medicine called Banzhen Tang, which is both Si Wu Tang and Shu Di Huang together. And it's this 8 treasures, it's this 8 herbs that help you build up the body. You can even take this one step farther, even if that's not enough. There's another one, Sichuan Dabu, the 10 all-encompassing, tonifier. Something that will really boost up the body and try to make it healthy again. We all have varying grades of problems. There are people who get tired easily, there are people who get pale easily. And these herbs are kind of what the Chinese did to help combat that. They sat around and did nothing for hours on end sometimes too. Their men went out and hunted and got tired and they couldn't climb upstairs or had problems when they got older. And this is what they did. And not only that, but they didn't do this just as like medicine, like you shoot yourself in the arm and take a whole big, concentration of it. They basically cooked it as a soup. They used it with meat. And then they ate the whole thing. These are all edible. These are all roots and twigs and, other things that you can take on a daily basis. You shouldn't take it on a daily basis because, again, you want to try to keep yourself healthy. If you have blood deficiency and you take these herbs and then you're better, you don't want to keep taking it or else you're going into excess. That in itself would cause another problem. But even what they cooked with helped whatever problem they had. For example, if you cook this with pork, it helps to tonify qi. If you cook it with beef, it helps to tonify the blood. If you cook it with chicken, especially black bone chicken, the wukuji, that helps tonify yin. And normally this would be cooked with the black bone chicken because, again, it would help boost up its effect, to be able to have something that you would be able to take in nourishment from it and benefit from it. And that's really the idea. A lot of the medicine within traditional Chinese medicine, it came from food. It came from things that they had every day. And I hate the word preventative medicine because it sounds like, oh, we have to prevent you from getting, blood deficiency. But if the person knew that they were going to be walking around all day, or their period was coming, they would start to take these foods before it happened, so that they could minimize the amount of symptoms that they had. And it was a smart idea. These are the types of things that we have, but unfortunately we're too busy nowadays. We're always working, we're always going, and we're forgetting we're getting sick. Not only that, we're working ourselves half to death. More than half of us have stress, and the other half of us have stress-related issues. Trying to come back on that stress is just almost impossible now because all we're doing is we have to work, we have to go. And that's not just men, that's everyone. So again, this, or even doing some type of nutritional therapy to help yourself keep healthy during these stressful periods, is more important than any medication that the doctor will probably give you at some point when you're way far down the road. It's something that you can use now and learn how to do for yourself so that you're healthier from moving on from a young age to middle age, from middle age to old age, and from old age into, the final years, which is a sad thing to say, but you don't want to be old and decrepit and sit there on a bed. And I've seen that before, and it's not a fun thing. But at the same time, you want to try and keep yourself healthy. I've seen too many people die this month who are maybe a couple of years older than I am. And that's sad. We shouldn't be in this day and age, especially with the health care that we have, all of the progression that we have. We might have a great, progressive medical but we don't have very good lives, and that's something that we're missing. So I hope you enjoyed this little talk of ours. It's kind of difficult to talk about sometimes because, again, there's a lot of misunderstanding and there's a lot of opinion based on how traditional Chinese medicine works and how its theory works. A lot of what I'm telling you is just, my opinion and my I don't want to say expertise, but what I've seen throughout the last few years I've done this. I've treated a lot of people with herbs. I've treated a lot of people with acupuncture. I've seen some of it work. I've seen a lot of it not work. And there's usually a reason behind that. But trying to find that reason sometimes is difficult because, again, you have to remember that everyone is different. Everyone's body is different. But if you have any questions, if you have anything that you're curious about or anything you want to follow up with, just leave it in the description below. I'll be happy to try and reply back to you. You can always visit our website. We try to give out newsletters. We have other things that we give out. If there's any other formulas you'd like to see us cover, please let us know. We'll be very happy to try and cover it. So I hope you enjoyed it. Have a good day. And as the YouTubers say, like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks.